When you have those moments where you're in the same room with your children, pay attention. The phone can wait, the TV, the electronics, all of that can wait.
Your blended family has a 100% chance of success when you do it God's way. We're Blended Kingdom Families, and we want to provide biblical resources to heal and restore families with a message of hope for the next generation.
Welcome to the Blended Kingdom Families podcast. It's Scott and Vanessa coming back at you this week, you guys, and we are talking about blending your bunch.
I've just noticed she's been doing the intro the last couple, and she's much more enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I mean, you are excited to get out there.
Normally Scott does the intro, but I decided to take over this series. So you guys, we're in our fifth series,
fifth series, second part of this series.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's all related to our book that releases in September, Blended and Redeemed.
Yes.
If you're catching this one for the first time, go back to last week.
Yep.
Check that out, where we really talked about how, about step parenting and love and intentionality, and really put some air back in the room with some really hard questions that blended families ask. But today,
yes,
we're going to be talking about time.
Time. T-I-M-E.
Really the lack of time. Does anybody feel that way? Like, I mean, we are so busy and we have so much technology that enables us to do so much more.
Yeah.
But really, it's about being very busy, whether that's work or that's family or that's, spending a little bit of downtime or exercise or whatever you do. At the end of the day, I mean, I know like this morning we were up at 5.
Yeah.
And it is full day of schedule.
Yes.
And I just think that it gets to a point where we've become so much more, we can get so much done in a day, but really we're going to talk about the intentionality of time as it relates to bonding as a blended family.
Yeah.
And I just my hope for this podcast is that you start looking at your day or looking at your calendar and going, am I investing my time in the right spot?
Yes. And how do children spell love? T-I-M-E. We hear it all the time. You see like on social media, it's all these quotes. Children spell love T-I-M-E. And that's I think a good part of it. But children want all of our attention and they want all of our time all the time.
Well, and again, I'm kind of just pulling some stuff that you guys have heard before, but we all know that kids grow up fast.
Yeah.
We're going to blink the eye. They're going to be 18 years old. They're going to be going. And what are we sending them out there for?
Yeah.
So, how are we spending our time? Are we giving our best to our children? Are we giving them our leftovers?
It's a good one.
And are we really looking at each one of them? Or if you have multiple children, we have a lot. We have 4 kids. So, and we have, 4 very different personalities, which I'm sure if you're a blended family, you can relate to this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, all these personalities. One likes to do this, the other likes to do this. So are we spending intentional time in the way that maybe their love language is? And really just kind of understanding that that's how kids bond.
Yeah. And I think starting from the earliest stages of like when you're beginning to blend, and especially with that step-parent, stepchild relationship, committing time to getting to know one another. I think one thing that we've heard over and over from step-parents is that they don't want to push that relationship, they don't want to go further than they're supposed to, like overstep boundaries. But, in previous podcasts, we've talked about the 3 Ps, which is prayer, patience, and persistence.
Yeah.
And so what I want to say to that is that maybe if you're a step parent, and you're newly blended, or you're in that first year and you're like, we still haven't, bonded, or we're not as close as I would like to be. And you're like, I'm still trying to give them space. I would say first, let's go to God in prayer about that.
Yeah.
Ask him if there's anything that he's intentionally wanting you to do. But also, continuing to just be patient in that process, but being persistent in the pursuit of a relationship with your stepchildren. Because I think one thing that the enemy will, comes, even if you're a biological parent, is give them their space. Like they're okay. They just need some time away. Like, and oftentimes that isolation or that, pulling back is really the thing that we shouldn't be doing, when running to it is the thing we should be doing.
Yeah. And this can change a lot by the age of your children, or kind of the dynamic of your blended family. If we looked at it from, I'm going to look at it from kind of like 2 halves. So first half would be those kids that are like, 11, 12 or younger.
Yeah.
And then we noticed that there's a change from like 12 and on, and their, their desire to have a little bit more autonomy and kind of be by themselves a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that takes a different type of time and intentionality. But for little kids, and again, whether you have one or you have five or you have however many, the intentionality of spending time together. So look at it two ways. One, let's spend time as a family together.
Yeah.
And what are we doing? And we're going to talk a lot about that in an upcoming series about how we actually do that as a family and the intentionality of it. But spending time together as a family, but also spending time one-on-one with your kiddos.
Yeah.
Whether that is, hey, let's build a Lego together. I know that's big in our family.
Yeah.
Or, we have different kids that like different things. So one of our kids really loves to go to the garage and look at the tools. So we do that.
Yeah.
Or just taking a ride together. What else can the parents do that's intentional about time?
I think just showing them that you're invested, showing them that you're committed to them. So like making sure that you're at their baseball games or their sporting events, if they're in like the science club or things like that, like going to those things that are important to them, whether you like it or not. Our oldest son, he's 16 and he and Scott, one of the things that they do together is they go to the shooting range. We live in Texas. Everybody has a gun. I don't know how you feel about that. But, one of the things that we've taught our son is gun safety.
Yeah.
And so that's something that, you guys both like doing it. You guys, I don't like it. And I grew up in a household where both of my parents, are in law enforcement. One's retired. But so, it's not necessarily something that I like doing, but we do that together with him to foster that relationship, but it also brings about conversation. It's intentional time. And we're showing like, hey, we're committed to you in this, hobby that you like to do. And we want to learn more about like what makes you tick and, what makes you excited. And so I would just say, Scott, showing that you're invested and committed to them. Again, with the ages, with them being younger, a lot of times it's doing fun activities. It's going to the zoo. It's doing arts and crafts or going swimming, things like that. Older children, like on a larger scale, like with Michael, we take him to the gun range. Maybe it's going to Starbucks. Apparently that's a thing when they get older, is going to Starbucks. But maybe you're blending as adults. We hear this a lot. That's not easy. How do you bond with your adult children and create a relationship with them? And to that, I would say, stick the path. Like God honors your obedience to continue to seek a relationship with them or pray over them, or just continue to be kind to them, regardless if that's reciprocated or not.
Yeah. And I think, if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, time, I don't really have a lot of it. So I'm going to say a couple of things here. One, and we've said this in our house, and we constantly need reminding of this.
Yeah.
Is if we don't have enough time and energy when we get home, that we've spent too much other places. So, look at where you're spending and investing your time, just so you have it to give. If you don't have it already, you got to go find it.
Yeah.
And maybe you're investing too much outside, or, and we love the idea of, being involved. Make sure you're at events, make sure you're paying attention to what's going on in their school life, whether they have a field trip coming up or, an event at their school that you can make time to be with. But also I think there's a little intentionality about making them feel special with one-on-one time.
Yeah.
I know when they're little, that can be as simple as reading a book together. I know last night Grayson, our 6-year-old, came and he was like, hey, will you read this book with me? And, at the time I was tired. I was really tired. And, I had to like intentionally go, okay, wait, this is important. I really need to take a minute and do this.
Yeah.
And the book was about tornadoes. I don't know why our kids are like invested in natural disasters right now, but they are.
That is funny.
So they're all about tornadoes. So we read a book about tornadoes, and that was a lot of fun. And my other ones, one of them really loves video games right now. So, we play a little Madden together. So again, it's just taking time individually, and there's nothing wrong with, especially as parents, I want to put this on our shoulders. There's a lot of opportunity for parents to look at each other and go, hey, I'm going to sacrifice so that you can get one-on-one time.
That's good.
I'm going to take the load over here so you can take one of our kids and go do something that's going to be intentional and fun with them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, hey, we're going to go to a movie and I don't want to take everybody because I want to spend one-on-one time here. So can you take the load over here so I can go do this?
Yeah.
So as parents, you can kind of plan together and be like, hey, let's plan some time where you can have one-on-one time,
Yeah.
or let's make sure that stays intentional.
Yeah. And I think to that too, I would say, like what you were just talking about with Grayson as the example where he came and asked you to read the book, guys, we have to be intentional about looking for like those Holy Spirit moments and just opportunities to engage with our children, have conversations. One of the best things that I love is when I'm alone with our 16-year-old in the car and we're shoulder to shoulder. He can't get out of the car. I can't get out of the car.
Yeah.
And we're in there together. And it's, having those conversations of like, hey, like, what's God been speaking to your heart about lately?
Yeah.
What's something special that I can be praying for you about? What are your conversations like with God right now? Like, what are you struggling with? Like, how can I help you? Things like that. I think we miss opportunities to go on a deeper level, and a spiritual level with them, and just use those moments to minister to them, even in moments where they're acting out, taking moments where it's like, God, what do you want to teach me in this moment? What do you want me to impart to my child in this moment? And just surrendering that to him and letting, and just watching what he can do in moments like that to help build and foster and cultivate a relationship, not only with your biological children, but with your stepchildren.
Yeah, little children, you tend to find very easy ways to find time. You find the time and you go do stuff that's fun for them. Older kids, I love what you said about the intentionality, but I really love what you said about invoking the spiritual side of their well-being. So many times, I mean, these are kids that are like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, that age group where really it gets into what are you doing and are you accomplishing your goals?
Yeah.
Because that's majority of what that kind of age group is. Are you taking care of your room? Are you brushing your teeth? Are you studying? Are you passing tests? So much of our conversation is that. And these kids are really, in some cases, struggling. I know one of the things that I like to do with Michael, because Michael spends a lot of time in his room. And that's not really uncommon for that age group. They find a solace in that space that becomes their kind of safe space where they can kind of be and do their things. But I go up there every now and then and he's like, hey, what do you need? I'm like, nothing. I just want to spend some time with you. And it's like asking those questions. How are you doing?
Yeah.
How's your heart? Is there anything going on? I love when you approach it from, how can I be praying for you? These are things that kids are not used to hearing in a lot of cases, and it kind of puts their guard down. But it shows them an authentic love and a commitment to what they're going through. Yeah. Because to them, it's important. Yeah. To them, it's what they're going through is the most important thing. Yeah. I just, like, as you were speaking, I just kind of had just revelation of, like, when I'm in the Lord's presence and when I'm in my quiet time with God and when I'm intentional about seeking him and just sitting and being with him, that's when I feel his love and his peace and I hear his voice. Those moments are so special. And I think we as parents have the same opportunity that we can be in the same room with our kids, but not be in the same room because we're on our phones or we're watching the TV and doing things like that. And I think, our children are watching us all of the time. They're watching us. And it makes me think of like, if I'm sitting with Jesus and I'm watching for him and I'm waiting for him I'm waiting to hear back from him. I think about our children in that same aspect. They're sitting there, they're watching us and they want to hear from us. They want us to engage with them. They want to hear how much we love them. They want to feel secure and safe and they're looking for answers from us all the time. So I think my encouragement, you guys, if you're watching and listening to this right now is when you have those moments where you're in the same room with your children, pay attention. The phone can wait, the TV, the electronics, all of that can wait. Pay attention. And even if they are not actively, talking to you or engaging with you,
take that moment to just watch them. Just be like, God, show me something special about them. Like, what do you say about them?
Yeah.
Like, as he's playing his Lego, what do you say about them?
Yeah, you made me think of a story. Just happened last night. I was playing with Grayson, I was just kind of tickling him, and part of that is like, hey, who's the boss? Who's the boss? And the more you tickle him, the more he'll say, well, you're the boss, Dad. You're the boss. And then as soon as you stop, he'll say, no, I'm the boss. And what he really wants is you to re-engage in having fun with him. He wants to re-engage so that he can give you an answer. But it really just lets that kind of heart of the child know that they desire physical affection from their parents. They desire community and time.
Yeah.
They want to do things that are fun. They want to be hugged. And if you have a teenager that doesn't like to be hugged, hug them anyway.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Tell them you love them. Pray for them. Just be involved with them. Again, we all know that their time as children goes very fast.
Yeah.
And you want to, and you probably will, even if you practice all of these things, you'll probably get to the end and go, man, I should have done more, or I could have done more.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But take this time, be intentional about your time. And we hope that's encouraged you. We hope it's encouraged you as biological parents, as step parents. Last week we talked about the intentionality of love and how intense it can be, and that can be the same. Today we're talking about time and just spending that time. Next week we're going to go into a really fun topic of what do you call your other parent? Which I think is just hilarious, but it's real.
It's very real. It's a hot topic.
And we're going to talk about that. So it's going to be a good time. So guys, hope you've enjoyed this. Again, if you're listening on Audible, just know that the full YouTube format of this podcast is on our YouTube channel. You can go and subscribe, leave us a comment or a review. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
And we'll let you know every single Monday when we drop a new podcast.
Yes, you guys, y'all have a wonderful week and be blessed in all that you do.
Take care.
Hey friends, so glad you were here with us today, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You can find more resources from Blended Kingdom Families at blendedkingdomfamilies.com. Join us again next time as we talk about more blended family topics. Be blessed in all that you do, and remember, nothing will be impossible with God.